Good morning, everyone. Tractorman 44 here. Now, you know, some people kind of consider my place to have a certain degree of disarray, but this morning it seems to have a little bit higher level of that particular disarray. If you look right between the two sheds here, the red shed on the right and of course the little shed on the left, you'll see about a 12-inch hickory, pig nut hickory that snapped off and blew down last night right directly between my two sheds. Now, it's been dead all season. And yesterday while I was cutting grass, I was thinking, how am I going to cut that thing down? Well, you know, I'm not a real religious fella, but as the real religious people say, the Lord works in many wondrous ways, and He did it for me Himself, probably in a much better fashion than I would have done. So I woke up this morning, here it lays. So I got a little cleanup duty. Fortunately, I've got an overhead system here where I split my tractors, pull engines and things of that nature, you know, and work on mow trucks and all that. And that 8-inch H-beam actually bore the brunt. Now there's some small branches up on the tin roof. I got to take a look at that. But right above the high lift bucket. Now if that beam wouldn't have been there, it would have probably done a little more damage on the roof and come in contact a little bit better with the high lift bucket. However, I do have some things got to move out of the way. Ergo, the comment about disarray. I'm going to pull this old John Deere 50 up a little bit. At least we're going to try to pull it up with the little Kubota B3030. We're going to see how bad it scratches and if I can move it just 10 or 12 feet or so. Now there ain't no doubt the little Kubota's got the power. The problem is going to be traction on this graveled hillside, and it's about a 30-degree incline. It's not too awful bad. We're going to give it a shot, see what happens. Now hopefully there's enough of an incline. I'll get enough momentum to roll all the way down and into right here where I want to set it. Obviously it does not run. That's a whole other story. But and hopefully the brakes are good enough to where I can control it down this far. Well, by golly, that worked out quite well. So this is where it's going to set for just a little while. Got to clean that mess up first. Now this right here, it's what a fellow should refer to as a diamond in the rough. To the untrained eye, it doesn't look like much, and right now it really isn't much. But it's a hardy manufactured outdoor wood furnace that unfortunately was in a fire at my son-in-law's brother's house. And this is going to be one of my winter projects. I'm going to gut this thing and completely redo it. We've got to get it out of here next. So I got to go get the skid loader, adjust the forks to fit underneath it, pick it up, and get it out of here and get it over by the shed. Hey, on a side note, let me show y'all something. You notice I've got a lot of ladders, you know, laying around the shop and stuff. There's virtually something wrong with every single one of them. You know, get on a job site and then there'll be one damaged, and the superintendent on job will make you guys throw it in the dumpster because OSHA will give them a fine. This one is no exception. If you take a look right here, I've got a piece of 1-inch black iron gas pipe welded in place of the broken rung. If you do it okay, you know, it's adequate, you know, for your own home use. You cannot do this and use it commercially. But I got 3/16 inch plate inside and outside, and I got grade 5 bolts, 4 of them on each side holding it in place, and then 70/18 weld holding the 1-inch gas pipe to the metal there. So, you know, I wouldn't want other people to use it, but as far as myself is concerned, here and around the house, it's perfect. Sure saves me a couple $100 from buying a ladder. But virtually every one of my ladders has something similar to that wrong with them. Now, there's a couple of things I'd like to point out. Obviously, I had to crawl out of the cab of that skid loader and crawl out underneath the raised loader. You don't ever want to do that. This is kind of a safety warning, you know, even though I'm not real good at that kind of stuff. You don't ever want to do that, because if the correct line burst at the most inopportune time, you could get crushed. The only way you can do that is if you safely block your hydraulics up. And I don't know if you can see right over here about the end of my finger, about 7 o'clock or so, you know, on the clock dial, you'll see like a 2-inch stub of steel sticking out. From inside the cab, once you get the loader raised up to a certain height, you push this lever and it pokes those out, and that locks the loader in the up position. Then you can safely get in and out underneath the raised loader. I thought I'd point that out, so because it is quite dangerous. They will blow, and they will blow when you least expect it. And if the wrong one blows, you know, gives you a bad day. Another thing you always hear me say, don't do as I say and don't do as I do. This is definitely one of those situations, don't do as I do. Obviously chainsaws and ladders and trees don't go along together, but sometimes there's just no getting around it. So I'm doing everything, you know, the perfectly safe way today. I got my earplugs in, got my steel-toed tennis shoes. I don't have any chaps. I don't really have a hard hat. I got safety glasses though, you know, that's pretty good. I'm going to climb up on top of that skid loader with that pallet on there. Of course, I don't have anybody around in case I slip and fall, you know. And I ain't got my phone in my pocket, so I'm doing everything just against the book. So, like I said, do not do as I say, and definitely don't do as I do. Now, if I didn't say it on the last little segment of the video, say it now. Here, hold my beer. Actually, I don't drink beer. I drink coffee. Well, now the SD card filled up when I was moving the boiler, or setting the boiler in place. And then when I was up on top, standing on the bucket of the loader, or the high lift, the battery went dead. Of course, I didn't know it either time. So anyway, got a freshly charged battery and a new SD card. Well, I was going to get up there and broom it off, but heck with that. There's a catalpa growing up there. It's been bugging me for a couple of years. It's about a 2-year-old sapling. It's kind of been bugging me. I'm going to cut that out of there. Looks like there's something hiding back there under that tarp. I'll let y'all guess what that is. Okay, now that we're kind of exposed, anybody got a guess yet? Okay, I'll give you a little hint. Hopefully you might be able to read the name on the side of the manifold there. Look, it's got hydraulics on it for a cultivator lift. It's electric start. It's also crank start. And maybe the letters and numbers IXB3 will mean something to someone. But I'm just going to let it go at that. We'll talk about it later. Well, like I said this morning, things change with a phone call or a tree fall. You just never know what's going to happen from day to day. But it's the devil what 3 hours you can do, you know. But I didn't get to do anything I wanted to do. I was going to go start another project, get started on that, and obviously I didn't get there. But I did get a couple tractors pulled out, you know, and got that tree all chopped up, and got a little firewood if nothing else. But at any rate, oh, looky there, what's sticking his nose out. There's another motorcycle back here. I'm not going to tell you what it is. That's got a real cool story to it too. But it's a one owner. Well, I'm the second owner. But at any rate, you know what? I have beat this one to death, so I'm going to go dig around in there and see what kind of parts and pieces I got. I think I got enough to make that old John Deere run. Don't know yet. I'm going to go take a look. But you know what? I have beat this one to death. And this Tractor Man 44. I am out of here.